Hello. Good morning. It's time. It's time. Let me scroll on over and make sure my tech is working. We are using StreamYard and we're broadcasting in a few different places. So if you click on the link, I think it's streamyard.com/Facebook, and you give StreamYard permission, I will be able to tell who's commenting on my StreamYard dashboard. Right now, all I see is a lot of Facebook users. So if you're able to go to the StreamYard link and give StreamYard permission to view your Facebook name, that will help me to know who's talking, and I can see all the comments from all the various places. Hey, Sally, I can see all the comments from all the various places on my StreamYard dashboard. And so I am going to go over to the Facebook group though, and that's where I'll be able to see everybody's names if you don't do that. So give me a moment. Can you all hear me okay? Type yes if you can hear me okay. I've got the volume on mute since I'm streaming in both places. I'll get an echo if I don't do that. So bear with me one moment. So welcome to okay, awesome. So welcome to the I think this will be our last live of the year. And this is probably our last, this is definitely my last Christmas project for the year. And so what I wanted to do, because Christmas is a time to celebrate with family and friends, I just wanted to sort of step back a minute and do a project using some products from people who have supported Decoupage Queen, have been fans of Decoupage Queen. So this is our friends and family edition. So you might have seen this morning I posted and I tagged a few people, just to talk about some products that they offer. Some I sell, some I don't. But this is just kind of to help, show how great our paper kind of goes across the spectrum with just about any brand of products. And so, we are a paper company, and that's the main thing that we offer. But there are tons of complementary products out there that work beautifully with our paper. And so I wanted to give a couple of shout outs this morning. We're going to be using this product here. Jane Belk of Funkature. She sent me some of her famous rock hard top coat. And I'm only going to say that once. So Jane, if you're on, this is what she uses for decoupage. This is what she recommends to all of her customers. And we're going to be using it today. I have not tried it yet, so this will be the very first time on this live. And so Jane, if you're on, drop a link there, and we'll talk about that again in a minute. Let me go over to the group and see if I can find myself, because some of you, okay, I can see Mara's name. I can see Funkature's on. Hey guys, I can tell Claire's on because it says hi Claire, but it says when Claire comments on my screen, it says Facebook user. So again, if you haven't participated in a live before through StreamYard, go /Facebook, and that will give StreamYard the ability to let me see your name when you type in the comments. All right, so let's see. Let me go over here. I'm getting a little bit better at the lives, you guys. There for a while, it was really challenging for me. And I'm old, so And I don't have any helpers here helping me. So I'm kind of trying to figure this out on my own, but I feel like I'm doing better. Aveda helped me set up the StreamYard. So that's been awesome because it's like, it looks and feels professional. We can add our logo and stuff on here. Now I didn't do that. I forgot to do that ahead of time, but anyway, it just kind of helps. Thanks, Solly. You're a pro. You do this a lot. I need to I need to watch you a little bit more. Okay, so it says Joyce is on, Misty's on, Stephanie Young Davis is on. Hi, Sabine. How are you? All right, good. So Tom, hi, Tom. Hi, Teresa. All right, so just a shout out. Well, I'm older than I used to be. That's all I can say. So let's talk about the lineup again a little bit. Talked about the top coat I'm going to be using. This is the Decoupage Medium. I already used it, and so I'm not going to use it again, but let me show you this. This is a stencil by Mara from Vintage Retail Therapy by Mara. She has this in her shop. So Mara, if you want to drop a link to this, I don't remember the name of it, but I did go ahead and I used that up here. Okay. So again, this is the Friends and Family edition. And then Sally, I'm using some Would You Bend. So this is from Would You Bend, and I painted it already. I painted it a darker color, but I'll show you what it looks like so you can see it a little bit better. Is my video interrupting still? Let me know if it is. It says I'm connected. So this is the Would You Bend mold. This is really pretty, and I don't know the name of it. Okay, everything's good. Yeah, I have to be honest. So and I probably shouldn't say this on camera, Sully, but I signed up to be a Would You Bend retailer about 6 months ago. And I've got a box of it. I have not listed any of it. This is on my retail site. I have not listed any of it. And so I've got to get it up, but some of the stuff is just so beautiful. I figured, let me go ahead and use what I want first. So either that or it'll just end up being my personal stash. But I saw these cherubs and I just thought these are so cute. And so I thought I would go ahead and use this today. And then I'm going to use, these are also from Would You Bend. And I don't know what the code is to this. So if you know the code, you can drop that in as well. Okay. Hi. Thank you, Sabine, for throwing that code in. Yeah. So these are both Would You Bend. And, I did plan out ahead exactly what I was going to do because I don't have a lot of time today. We're getting ready to take the kids for a little out of town. Oh, it's 2027. This is 2027. Anyway, we're going to take the kids out for a little out of town event. It's a surprise. So we're heading up to Augusta in probably an hour or so as soon as I'm done here. So didn't have a lot of time. So I did do a lot to prepare. So I'm going to be doing that. So, and then Solly keeps asking me if we'll do a live together. So I'm sure we will. Probably in the new year, we'll do something together. So keep your eyes peeled for that. That will be super fun. But I figured, let me go ahead and just shout out some people who have been a part of my life this year. Okay, and then The other products I kind of wanted to introduce to you are these Pentart products. Hey, Jane. Hello, hello. All right, so these are, Pentart is a company that's based out of Hungary, and I have been selling them on my retail site for quite some time. And they have slowly become like my number one seller. And so I figured, like, why not, let's open up that, let's open that up a little bit. And so in January, I'm going to have about 3 pallets coming on a cargo ship. I have no idea how long it's going to take, but pretty soon my retailers are going to be able to get these products from me as well. So I am super excited to be offering these products. And so I'm giving you, please don't bombard me with when is it going to be here. I don't know. You know how the cargo ships are. I don't know. And I am going to have some of it air shipped as well so that I can get some stock in. But we're going to be able to offer like these whole lines of waxes and things to all of our Decoupage Queen retailers as well. So I'm super excited about that. So they also send me like products to play with. So I'm gonna play with some of their stuff. I've got excuse me. I've got some glitters that I don't even have, like I don't have any stock, but we're gonna try some of their glitters and stuff today too. All right, and so, and then we also have some molds. So I've been using, I do also have some of these Prima molds, and I used this Sculpey air dry clay to make, and I used this one here. I think this one is called Luell Borders, and I have no idea what this one's called. So if I have any Prima people on, feel free to say what those are. But I'm using the Sculpey air dry clay, and I already did all that this morning. So they should be pretty ready to go. Okay, so we're going to dive right in. So I always, I pretty much always paint my molds, and I'm going to turn myself off over here so you can see my screen a little bit better. But I just wanted to say good morning and Merry Christmas, and we're going to dive right in. And let me yes, bling is always a good idea. Are they a U.S. company? Would You Bend is based out of UK. Yeah, Leeds. Okay. Oh, and yes, I totally forgot to shout out my own stuff here. Like, so busy talking about everybody else. Let's talk about Decoupage Queen for a minute. All right, so what you're seeing right here, this is an A2 size paper, okay? And so this is, the dimension on this guy is 16 by 23, which there's no other rice paper on the market, right? That's why we're here. Let's talk about Decoupage Queen for a minute. Excuse me. So this is an A2 size, and this is this might be the first time it's been shown. No, Jane actually showed an A2 size on her live yesterday. So second time, maybe third. I don't know. Somebody else might have used it, but this is just such, I think this is going to be a really critical, important size to have. Because before, we sort of had the A3, and let me just pull out an A3 so I can compare the size for you. we had this A3 that, you know, is so super versatile and is a great size, but like for a bigger piece like this, you would have this is an A3 size, guys. So this is like the 11.7 by 16.5, which could work on something like this, but you got a lot of blending to do. And if you're like me, like I don't have time to blend everything all the time. So, and then the 20 by 30, that tissue paper we had would have been just a little bit too big. So this is a great, like, I kind of call this like the happy intermediate. This is just such an important addition, I think, to our collection. And it kind of gets you, you know, the price point's a little bit different. It's a lot different now that we have our designs, all 100%, all of our designs come in, not all of our designs come in rice paper, but all of our products are rice paper now. We have now discontinued the tissue paper. And so, you know, for our A1 size, which is 23 by 34, it's $34, which is a pretty big difference from what our tissue paper was. So if you don't need to go that big, A2 is really just the perfect alternative to that. Okay. So anyway, I think this is going to be a super popular size, and it's just going to be great in your collection. So that's what this is. And it's rice paper. It's the same exact rice paper that we use in our smaller ones. So right now I'm holding up an A4 to show you the difference. All right, so 5 sizes, including A0. And if you guys didn't see my Instagram yesterday, I shared a project by Lynn Brundage from L&J Goods. She did this incredible piece with our A0 paper, this Gothic angel, and she did, excuse me, she did, Lynn, if you're on, you can talk about it, but she took this A0, the Gothic angel, and she put it on a board, and then she used it as a TV cover. So she's got it, her husband helped her to mount it, to build some mounting thingamajiggy bobbies or whatever, I don't know. And they put this Gothic angel right over their TV to camouflage for the holidays. I mean, how cool is that? So very versatile. And it was a super fun, beautiful, it turned out really beautiful. So we're going to dive right in now. Let me stop jibber jabbering because I'm short on time. Aren't we all? And so I'll just explain to you what I did, and let me take myself off here. Can you guys still hear? Can everybody still hear me okay? Just want to make sure. Okay. I know I needed JR to help me with my projects too. When I saw what they did, I'm like, that, how clever is that? And so fast, because I mean, she only got those like this week. All right. So, all right. So this is a board. Okay. So this is what I got. I got this board from Hobby Lobby. Excuse me. And I got this in the clearance section, you know, and sometimes what I'll do is I'll shop the Hobby Lobby clearance, like their spring closeouts, just for the surfaces, because you can get some, and I don't care, like I really don't care what's on it because I'm just going to paint over it. But like, so this is just some, I think it was something, yeah, it was something from their spring collection, and it was $35 from their spring collection. But I picked it up for like, I don't know, $8 or something because it was 80% off. So anyway, because I just wanted to use the board. And what I did was I held this up and I still had some blending to do. So I just did some work ahead of time and I painted this green up here. And then I used Mara's stencil up there just to kind of help integrate the two backgrounds a little bit. All right. So when, you know, and I always, when I look at stuff in the craft stores, I don't ever look at it for what it is. I look at it for its next life or next potential. So that's how this came to be. So I'm going to stand up, and I hope that I've got this camera up pretty high, so I'm going to have to shift around, but this is a pretty big project. So I hope that you can see what I'm doing as I'm going here. But I started by painting these all brown, and when I painted them brown, I did not really care what kind of paint I used. I know a lot of people use like particular brands of furniture paint, which is awesome. I just use like this acrylic Pentart paint and whatever brown paint that I had, and mixed them together to create like just a really dark brown. So lost my train of thought. Hold on. What am I doing here? Okay, so let me grab my little mister. And I didn't have time to paint all of these brown, but I'm going to go ahead and do that now just to show you. And this is very watered down, so we're just going to go pretty fast. And my clay is still a little bit wet, but that doesn't really matter either. And I just painted these all brown because I don't want to, you know, I could stick them on and then paint them brown after that, but that requires a very fine brush and a lot of time and detail. And I really just want to stick these on and go. So I don't want to like play with, I don't want to spend, you know, hours and hours and hours of my life working around and not painting the paper. So let me see. Let me bring my phone over here so I can see what comments we have. Okay. Bigger, yep. So let's see. Yeah, so Nancy used, Nancy was the first one. Nancy Watson was the first person to get our this A2 size. So she did use it on a jewelry armoire, which you can see here in our product packaging in our link. And if you use this QR code on our instructions inside our packaging, it will take you to her video. So I was waiting, Nancy, for you to get that so you could see and you could be surprised. But there you go. Thank you, Dorothy. Yeah, so Nancy is now famous. Her video, there's a link to her video inside every single large format paper that we packaged. And guys, I have to shout out my team. You know, I've got some pretty amazing girls who help me, including my stepdaughter, Heather. We got in about 4,000 sheets of large paper, and we had, you know, we had we had a lot of work to do because, you know, they didn't come packaged. We did that, and we had to package every single sheet of paper. We had to put instructions in every single sheet or every single piece, and then we boxed them up and sent them to all of our retailers. And, you know, we got them all out. Like the week they came in, we got them all out that week. And I mean, we were a little bit behind because I had to bump my large paper order so that I could get some more Christmas in, because my Christmas just sold out so fast. So we were a little bit later than we thought we were going to be in getting these in. So it's really hard to promote like a new product right around the holidays. But you guys, I mean, we got them out that week, and my team was like, they were here. I had people here till 11 o'clock at night. I mean, I had 2 tables set up and 4 people here packing papers till 11 o'clock at night. Now, they all got really nice Christmas bonuses. Don't feel sorry for anybody. But we just all pulled together and we got it done. And I remember we had one order, and one of my girls was like, yeah, this is going out like next Saturday, as in like today, you know, like 2 weeks from then. And I said, no, this is going out by Thursday at the latest. So we just had, you know, a lot to do in a very short amount of time. And I'm just super appreciative of the support that we got. And the response has really been awesome so far. So anyway, thank you all. To my friends who helped. Okay. Yes, Nancy is surprised. Yay. Thank you. Yeah, I had to call in some outside help too. Like, one of my young ladies is newly married, and she's actually my niece, and so her husband came and worked the night shift. I had one of my former employees who was graduating with her MBA the next day, or her master's degree the next day, and she was here till 11 o'clock at night. Heather was here till 11 o'clock at night for like 3 nights in a row. So anyway, we pulled together and we made it happen. But we really are, we're a small business, just like our retailers. We're a family business. My children will sometimes help. I don't make them do too much, but they sometimes help, reluctantly. Do I have to? So they're good helpers for the most part. So I'm just painting all this brown. I know I'm going to use all of these borders. I don't know if I'm going to use like all of these guys or not, but I'm going to paint them anyway, just in case. And then I'm going to do a quick blow dry as well. And we will get this party started. So I am getting over like 2 weeks of being sick. I was sick for about 2 weeks. So my voice has come back, but I was doing a class. Mara and Nancy know I did this class, and I could hardly talk. I felt okay, but I just couldn't talk. And so I'm like, just watch what I'm doing. I'm not going to talk too much. So it's now coming back, but I'm still a little bit raspy. And then my son came home with a stomach virus this week. So we still have more of the class to do. I'll show you guys what we did in a second in our class, but I'm going to try to teach more mixed media classes as well. Now that I kind of know what I'm doing with the technology, it's a little bit easier for me than it used to be. So I'm going to try to do some, and I don't have time to do like, any kind of membership thing or whatever, but I do, believe it or not, I do other art besides decoupage. I know it's hard to believe, but I do other types of art as well. So I'm going to show you a couple pieces here in a minute while this is drying. And I think I have that painted enough, but let's see. I know. And I want to see it, Mara. When you're done, I want to see it. Stephanie, I just do them online. If you follow my other page, TH Decor, it's TH Decor Creative Friends. Nancy, can you drop that link if you're able to? But anytime I have a class or something that's not Decoupage Queen related, I will announce it there usually. But I'll show you what we did. We did these mixed media poppies in that class. And we hand sculpted these flowers with clay. And then first we created this textured background. And then we hand sculpted everything. And then we painted it. There are no molds in this project. Is that right, Nancy? We didn't use any molds in this project. This is all done by hand. So Nancy has hers finished. So she's going to frame it and she's going to share a picture. But anyway, so you might see some poppies in our next collection. They won't be those poppies, but I really loved it. And I was sort of in a poppy mood. So I do have a poppy paper coming. All right. Yep. And so Nancy's waiting for a frame. I'll show you some of my old oil paintings. Let's see. So my first love, believe it or not, is oil painting. So I took a class and I took about 4 years of oil painting. This isn't finished. One day I'll finish it. But here's an example. And this is flat. Like this is not, there's no texture on here at all. This is just oil on a canvas board. Okay. So anyway, I'm passionate about all kinds of art and I love doing all kinds of art. And so I do teach other things from time to time. And I just have fun with whatever I'm doing. But, I like decoupage because my life has changed a lot. And, I think the digital art that I do is very, very satisfying. And it's a little bit more instant gratification. I can complete a project much faster with a decoupage piece than I can an oil painting. And I still feel really good about it because I was able to put my own touches on it, etc. All right, let's see. Did I see something about Inga coming on? Let's see. Thank you, Deborah. Hi, Inga. Hi, Misty. Let's see. Thank you, guys. All right, so maybe someday you'll actually see some of my original artwork done in decoupage paper. Maybe someday. But for the most part, it's more of a collage technique. All right, so I'm going to stick this to the side. And in a few minutes, I'm going to turn on the hair dryer and mute you so that I can dry this stuff. But before I do that, let me go ahead and get this paper glued on. And I'm just trying to make sure I don't have a whole lot of white stuff left. White spots around the edges. It's just very watered down brown paint, y'all. That's all it is. Okay. All right. Nancy. Okay, awesome. All right, so let's get this guy on here. And I'm going to start by tearing off this bottom. I'm not going to worry about tearing off the sides because I'm just going to sand it off once it's dry. So, and I'm also not doing my handy dandy water technique just because it's one little strip here. So yes, Joe, I can hear the ripping. No, I don't have any water on it. Joe is very meticulous about her ripping techniques. And okay. So, and I'll leave some space down here at the bottom for those molds. All right, and let's get this guy on here. All right, let's pull out our top coat. And let me see if I can find what is the biggest brush that I have. I think this will do. This is a soft, flat brush. And okay, so Jane had some talking points about the top coat. Number one, this is like a marine grade, outdoor safe, UV resistant, non-toxic, environmentally friendly top coat that you can use indoors, okay? So very heavy duty, but you can use it inside. There are 3 different finishes. I'm going to be using the satin today, but she also has a matte and a glossy, okay? And Jane, would you drop your link where people can get this if they want to try it? And I just think the name of that stuff is so funny. So anyway, we're going to open this up, and the smell, it's got a little bit of a smell to it, but it's not unpleasant. So I guess I would probably, based on the description, I would probably compare it like to a polyvine. And I usually use decoupage glue, and then I varnish after. But today I'm going to mix it up, and I'm just going to use this as my decoupage glue. And okay, so as I'm applying it, it does have some tack to it. So it does have a good amount of, like I can tell it's got some adhesion happening. And so when I decoupage, I do it in sections. So I'm going to get like this top part down and stick that down. All right. Let me flatten that out. So far, so good. So far, so good. All right. And then I will pull this up, and I'll get the middle section. See, and on my instructions, you guys, on the sheet that I am now sending out with these large papers, I am saying, like, you know, use the brand that your retailer recommends. And, you know, that's important because if you have somebody that you work with that you trust, they have tested their products. and they can tell you if something is going to work well, and they like it. It's important for you to develop a relationship with your retailers so that you can, kind of follow what they're doing, because we all use so many different things, and there's no right or wrong. And there are tons of great products out here. And so I'm doing this because I just wanted to show you that the one that I use all the time, there are equally as good things out there. And so I didn't say in my instructions, you must use this. What I said was use the product that your retailer recommends, okay? And that's just so important to me, to support the small businesses. So, and now I'm doing the top coat, and I am starting from the middle, and I'm working my way out to make sure I'm good and flat. And, the other thing that I want to say, these papers there's a lot more at stake with these bigger papers than there were the smaller ones. So the technique is more important with the bigger papers really than the smaller ones, just because if you get it wrong, that could be $20 down the tube. And so I put instructions in every single sheet. Please look at them and follow what they're saying. But, the important takeaway is you want to get this medium on here and get your paper applied, and then let it dry before you start going over it again. Okay, so it's wet up here, and I've done like maybe a couple of little layers, but I'm not going to sit there and like work it over and over, because this is paper, y'all. Keep that in mind. This is paper, and this paper has fibers in it. And so if you sit there and get it wet and you start messing with it so much, the fibers can come off. And people will say, oh, the ink's running or whatever. Well, it doesn't take, like, you don't have to dig, and you need to use a soft brush, and you only need to go over it 1 or 2 times. And then when it's wet or when it's dry, then you can add as many more layers after it's dry that you want. Okay. So just keep that in mind as you're doing it. Okay. So I may not have gotten every single little inch. There's a little spot here that's dry, but I'm going to stop messing with it because it's mostly wet. And the more I mess with it, the more likely I am to damage some of those fibers. So I'm going to stick that to the side, and then I'm going to pull my dryer out and put you guys on mute, and I'm going to dry these, and I'm going to dry this over here. All right, so I'm going to put you on mute. When I come back, if you can't hear me, just start yelling at me. All right. Bye, Mara. Okay, I think I'm dry enough to keep going. Let me hit a couple of more places. Can you guys hear me okay? All right. There were a couple little areas that didn't quite get enough on there. Dorothy, I'm just trying it to see if I like it. And because Jane was nice enough to send it to me, and so there's a lot of products that I use and like for different reasons. But I think this is really good. I mean, so far I have to say, I really do like it. So I'm giving it, I'm going to reserve my official rating until I'm completely done. But I like the way it dried. I liked it as a decoupage medium. I thought I was worried sometimes when you use like a varnish or a top coat, and I'm just going to be honest, like sometimes when you use that, or when I use them as a decoupage medium, I don't feel like they have enough. They're too watery, and I don't feel sometimes like they have enough adhesion in them. And that's why I really, like a very gluey kind of texture to apply. But this had a really good amount of adhesion, and that's my personal preference, and I liked it. So chances are I will probably use it again. So thank you, Jane. Thank you, Jane, for sending me something to try. And y'all, anytime anybody wants to send me anything to try, I'm happy to try it. I don't have any particular loyalty, obviously, other than Pentart now, to any kind of furniture paint or whatever. I don't sell furniture paint. So anytime you guys want to send me something to try, I'm happy to check it out, and I will let you know what I think. And if I don't like it, I'll let you know off camera. All right, so now I'm going to sand. Let me just hit this a little bit because I went back over it. I'm going to sand my edges. All right, I'm going to sand those edges off with a little sandpaper. Rice paper reacts differently. I have not noticed, Dorothy, I have not noticed any color changes with different mediums. So I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Let's see. Okay. All right. I know there are some decoupage glues and mediums that just don't hold up that well over time. And that's another reason why, even if I do use, if I use Mod Podge, or if I use Collage Podge, or if I use like a true decoupage glue, I just use it to get it on there because I like the texture. But I always, almost always, follow up with a different varnish or top coat to fully protect it. Or like, so for example, most of the time I use like a matte Mod Podge or top coat or whatever. And if I want it to be glossy, then once it's dry, I put my glossy varnish or top coat on it. Okay. So that's just me. I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but that's what I do. And I don't like, you know, a lot of people ask me like, will it hold up outside? I don't know, because, you know, I'm not making pieces to put outside. You know, it's like decoupage to me is kind of like a fine art. You know, like you probably wouldn't put an oil painting outside. You know, and if you want something to last, regardless of what you put over it, you probably shouldn't put it outside. You know, it's the same. Like, okay, so I've got, I don't know if you guys remember the Thanksgiving pillow that I did with the rooster. I did it as my design team project. And I used the Pentart glue for textile, and you iron it on, and it is supposed to be machine washable once you do it. Well, I can tell you it is not machine washable because I tried it. I tested it and I ruined my chicken. I ruined my rooster. So I got to make another one. And this time I'm not going to put it in the washing machine. But, you know, I don't ever put my throw pillows in the washing machine anyway, you know. So it's not a big deal. You know, these are art projects, and I think they're, you know, they're not like durable goods. They're art projects. So let's treat them like that, you know. So I'll get off my soapbox. Hey, Jennifer. Hello. Okay. Awesome. Yep, you're good. Okay. All right, let's see. All right, so I'm just sanding this off. This comes off with the sandpaper, super easy. And then that way, you know, it goes edge to edge, and I have a super clean edge here, and not like a torn, ripped edge. All right. Okay. So there we go. I have a super clean edge here. All right. And now I'm going to start to apply my moldings. And with the Would You Bend, here's what I want to say about the Would You Bend too. I don't know if you guys can see, there is a small repair there. The heads broke off during shipping. And my husband was like, well, should I just throw this away? And I said, heck no, don't throw that away. Like we can totally fix that. And so I was able to take some wood glue and seal it back together. It took me like less than 4 minutes, and you were never going to be able to tell. Okay. So, you know, don't sweat the small stuff, guys. Like there's my stuff is cracked, or there's a seam in my paper. Who cares? Don't sweat the small stuff, y'all. That's small stuff. And in the big scheme of things, it just doesn't have an impact on your project. Let me get my wood glue. So I know I'm supposed to heat these up, right, Solly? Total beginner here on the Would You Bend. I'm supposed to heat these up before I put them on, so that they dry, or so that they lay super flat. Exactly. The cracks are, you know, that's part of the beauty of things. So you heat them up. I probably didn't do it long enough, but, and then you heat up after it's applied. Okay, that's what I'll do. All right, so my glue might be a little bit, dried and caked in there. So let me just take this off. Hold on, hold please, one moment please. And I'm using Weld Bond. I got that at Home Depot. Just happens to be the one I like. Some people use Tite Bond. Some people use, I've seen people use decoupage glue. Again, personal preference, do what works for you, right? Unless Solly, I mean, Solly's on, or she was on, so Solly, there may be a particular glue that you recommend using for this. I think I've heard you say just any wood glue, right? But let me know, and if there's a link or something that you want to share, then by all means. This is the Friends and Family Edition. So by all means, drop it in and let's hear what you have to say on the matter. All right, so we're gonna drop that guy right there in the middle. Okay. He's going right in the middle, and then I'm supposed to heat it up after. All right, so next one. And I want that to be right there. Want it to kind of go all the way to the edge. And let's see, warm your moldings up before and after applying, and a good quality wood glue, Tite Bond, quick and thick. PVA is not strong enough. Okay, awesome. So I would say this Weld Bond is probably pretty similar to Tite Bond. It's the same, it's right around the same grade as Tite Bond. And I use this for all my moldings and such. So good to know. All right, so we're going to pop that on there too. And let's clean up my little glue tracks. Let's clean up my glue tracks. All right. And making a little bit of a mess, but that's okay. We're going to varnish the whole thing once it's done again. Okay. Okay, and now I'm going to use these redesign castings. These are still a little bit wet, so I need to be gentle as I'm pulling them off. Oops. And they're breaking a little bit. That's okay. It's not a big deal. And I'm going to apply these the same way, just with some wood glue. And I decided, I wasn't sure which direction I was going to go, if I was going to go having them face up or down. And I decided to have them facing up. So we're going to do it that way. And where is my other little piece? There it is. Okay. And it may, you know, until I get that wax on there, y'all, it is going to look a bit like a hot mess, but you will see once I get the wax on how it starts to come together. So, here's my little scrapey guy. And I needed 3 for each side, and then I needed 2 across the bottom. So I prepared 8 of these this morning. And again, my clay is still a little bit wet, which is fine because it's flexible and I can move it around how I want it. Okay. And I can also, if I have a little bit too much down at the bottom on one of these, I can cut it, no problem. And I hate that I covered up that angel there. I really wanted to be able to leave him intact, but I struggled and struggled and I could not find a way to leave him intact. So it is what it is. We still got this one and we got this one over here. And of course we have the beautiful one there. And then we have the ones at top. So it's okay. It's okay. We are going to survive. All right, let's see what we end up with on this guy. You know, ideally, these would have dried overnight, but we are going fast and furious, so no time for that. All right, so let's see what we have here. Does it fit, or do I have to cut? And I can get that to fit. Okay, perfect. All right, so that's just about perfect. And that's where I want them. And no problem there. Okay. So, and then I'm going to do the 2 down at the bottom. And I'm going to be out of frame for a second, y'all. So forgive me. I'm just doing the 2 down at the bottom. Let's see if I can get it just temporarily. There we go. Never mind. I'm not going to be out of frame. Okay. So glue. This one I did do last night. Did I paint the wood and clay pieces? I actually painted them. Jennifer, was that you? Jennifer, I painted them with brown paint the same way I did the pumpkins. So it's just brown paint. You can use black gesso. That's fine. I did not use black gesso though. I just used brown paint. So, all right, let's see what we end up with here. I had a little piece break off, but that's okay because that's fine. All right. And now I'm going to go back up again. So this went up, facing up. this one went facing this way, and then this one went facing this way. So now this one can go up. So it's kind of like symmetry, right? So you guys, Sabina's on. She told me I was doing great. I told her I talked to Sabine. If you guys don't know Sabine yet, let me take a minute to introduce her. Sabine is our new distributor in the United Kingdom. So Sabine, would you drop your link when you have a minute? Or not United Kingdom, I'm sorry, in Europe. So she is based out of Denmark, and she offers retailers a variety of these types of products. And so she just recently signed on with us, and she just got her first order in of both mixed media paper and large paper. And so she is now shipping to her retailers as well. So if you're based in Europe, then please check out Sabine and her network of retailers for all of your mixed media needs. Okay. She also is a distributor for Would You Bend, Salt Wash, which I had thought about using Salt Wash today, but I just don't use Salt Wash that much, and so I just didn't feel confident enough to use it on a live. I have a jar of it, so I just got to play around with it a little bit more. But she does some amazing stuff with Salt Wash. And, you know, you guys know I'm also the distributor for a company called Paper Designs, which is a rice paper that's very similar to ours. And, you know, they've got some rice paper that is done in rolls. And Sabine has done some really, really beautiful doors with the Paper Designs rolls, as well as Salt Wash. And Sabine, what is the name of the paint line that you're carrying now? Tell us a little bit about that paint line that you're working with now. So she's got a new paint partner. I think they're based out of Canada. Is that right? Yeah. So thank you, Sally. So we're just kind of framing it nice and festive. And then I've got one more to go. And then I'm going to add wax. And I'm not painting anything else. I'm just going to add wax. And then we're going to call it done. So let me do my last little bit. And again, like my whole point was just to show you that, you know, even if you have like, you know, you buy Would You Bend from one place, and you like this decoupage glue from another place, and you like my paper and blah, 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 that like there's just so many ways to configure this stuff that, you know, you can use them all together. You don't have to, you know, just get creative. I mean, there are so many options available to us as DIY enthusiasts. And sometimes I think we just get stuck in like the mindset of, oh, I've got to use this or I've got to use that. But there's just so much good stuff out there, you know? And so I just wanted to show you, like, you know, how I'm kind of using a variety of different brands and products that all work beautifully. Now, of course, I want you to use my paper, but they all work beautifully together. All right, so let's do that. That's not true. I mean, I really do love all paper brands. I really do. And I have not come across a particular paper brand that I just don't love. I mean, I really do like them all. And it is so hard for me, you guys. So sometimes I know some of you have tried to share in our group. We are not really very strict, but we are pretty strict when it comes to what you can share in our group. It has to be a Decoupage Queen brand paper. So if you can use Decoupage Queen and another brand of paper, but if you try to share something in our group that is totally another brand and our paper's not in it, they don't get approved. And sometimes, you guys, there have been projects where I can't approve them because it's just not allowed. And I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so pretty. But, you know, we do have to be exclusive in our Decoupage Queen group with our paper, you know. So, but we can use any other products that we want. We don't have to be exclusive with the other products. All right, so I'm just kind of touching up these edges. Yeah, and it's hard. I mean, sometimes people are sharing stuff that's just like incredible, and I usually try to message them like, you know, here's somewhere else you can share that, but it deserves to be shared, but unfortunately, not here, you know. I just kind of feel, since we do have our own brand of paper and it's our group, we're allowed to say that. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and dry, and then I'm gonna start waxing. Okay, so I am dry enough now to start waxing. And so I'm going to do that. And I'm going to start with this product. This is my Pentart bronze antique paste. So I'm going to start with that. And I'm just going to use a soft brush. And I'm just going to start popping it onto these castings, and you can see that's like really starting to, how that's starting to pop. So beautiful. There's so much detail in these. I'm like, oh my gosh, how pretty is that? So pretty. So Solly also has, like, I think, Solly, you've got the waxes and stuff too. And the pigment powders that will have a very similar effect. So this just kind of brings all of those details to life. Just really beautiful. So I'm going to build this up by layering a bit. So I'm starting with the bronze, and then I'm going to kind of go back and then add a little bit of gold. I might add a little bit of green down in here. So this is not, so my point is this is not the only way to achieve this effect. You know, I will say too, there is another brand that also has a ton of really beautiful waxes, and they recently changed their packaging from jars to tubes, or from tins to tubes, and a lot of people don't like the tubes. And so this is in jars and they're glass. They are glass jars, so they're going to hold up really well. Just FYI. All right, so I'm just kind of getting that first brush on. And just kind of showing you how this starts to take shape. I am probably not going to be able to finish everything that I want to do with this piece on this live, just because we have got to get on the road and we're running a little bit out of time. Yeah, I know. It's like you have this, like, you know, drab kind of thing, and then boom, you start to add the wax and the whole thing just goes bananas. So now I'm taking the gold. This is the Pentart gold wax paste. And now I'm just kind of layering the gold right over the bronze. Not completely, but enough to where there's now a little bit of gold and bronze contrast. And that, you know, so I'm going from like dark to light with my waxes. So I started with brown as my base, and then I put a layer of the bronze on. And then now I'm going to do a layer of the gold, just a little bit, not too much. And then guess what I'm going to do on top of that? Anybody have any guesses what I'm going to go in behind and do on top of that? Take a guess what I'm going to do. Go ahead. If you've taken any of my classes or watched any of my videos before, you might know the answer. You know, I tend to find like a couple techniques that work, and I just do variations of those techniques over and over. not the same project every time, but you know, just different ways of looking at the same technique. So I am going to take, so next I'm going to take a little bit of silver. And I do have Pentart silver, but I don't have it with me at the moment. So I'm going to use that other brand of silver. Oh, hold on. Where is it? If I can find it. Bear with me 1 second, y'all. It's under my camera. Okay, here's my, all right. Here's my silver. And when you just when you layer the different colors, it just gives it more of a antique-y feel, you know? So here's some silver, and I'm just gonna now go in and drop a little bit of silver on it. Just a little bit, not too much, but enough to make it look sort of like, give it a little bit of aged patina. Okay. So again, don't think with the waxes, don't think that you have to just stick with one wax and that's it. You can totally layer these just like you do paint. Okay. And just see how that just really starts to add a little bit more contrast and dimension that you wouldn't otherwise have. And it sort of it actually dulls down some of the brightness of the golds and stuff and gives it a little bit more patina. Okay. So if I really wanted to get fancy, I could start to add some colored waxes in there too, some greens, which I've been known to do. And I could definitely get away with the greens on the sides, but I'm going to leave it alone. All right. Now I'm going to be a little bit adventurous, and I'm going to try, I want to just dabble with this. This is antiquing gel. I have not tried this before. So I'm going to just try a little bit around the sides just to see what I think. Hello, Roberta. And then, once I'm done here, I'm probably going to I'll probably spend a little bit of time and try to blend this with some antiquing paste so that you don't have this harsh line. I might add a little bit of stencil there. So I still have work to do, just so you guys know, I'm not calling it done here. I just kind of wanted to show you my process a little bit and get it laid out and just really kind of introduce my friends and give you some thoughts about ways to use some of this new larger size paper and show you just how well all these things can work together. And I wanted to play with my top coat, and I wanted to play with my Prima Molds. So I'm going to go down here. I'm just going to apply a little bit just to see what I think. This is antiquing gel, and I'm just using that same brush. This is a brand new product from Pentart. And I'm going to apply a little bit down here. So you put it on. It's just like a stain, but it's a gel product, and then you put it on and then you wipe it away. So we're going to do a little bit down here because there's nothing going on down here. So let's see how we like that. So let's see what we think of that. And then I would, so I would carry that on through, and I would do the same thing around the sides and maybe around the outline here, just to kind of highlight and age it a little bit. So yeah, you just sort of wipe it away, and I think that works fine. Just kind of gives it like a little bit of antique-y texture. I don't know if you can see that or not. So I may continue that. Another product that I really like to do this kind of thing with is the Stamperia antiquing paste. I really like that product a lot. So anyway, those are just some kind of fun ideas for my last holiday project. And I am super excited to have had some awesome people joining me today. And thank you so much, everybody. And I hope you all have a lovely, lovely Christmas. And if I don't talk to you between now and then, please take care and God bless. Bye, everybody.